Myself, and I'm whispering because my wife is still in bed. It's early and I'm headed to the farm and I'm grabbing some socks, but I want to make this video, and really it's an apology to anyone that I offended in permies or perma activists who basically make a living selling permaculture design certificates, because you know, my attacks on them really was wrong in the sense to say that, well, regardless, I just apologize. Now, something that I said, and this is an example, is like, you know, I may fight tooth and nail over something. This is what I'm looking for, socks. And then realize, in hindsight, that I was wrong. And really, ultimately, what was happening was I and Andrew, Killian, and Flo, those are the main three people I want to apologize to. We're wasting our time and taking away from our permaculture and activities. So it's just pointless to argue, because we're all in this together. We're all trying to bring about the same world. We're just going about it in different ways. It's kind of like, you know, there are many ways to skin a cat, right? So what am I to say your way is wrong? Because ultimately, like I said in a post, it is because of permaculture design certification program and it becoming lucrative as a business that drives permaculture. So instead of me attacking that, what I need to be, which is a better, a more proactive stance, is to be the change I want to see. And I'm the first one to admit I know nothing about permaculture. Permaculture to me, very specifically, and I'm starting to quote this, is basically living sustainably by observation and applying design to bring about sustainability. Whether it is, hey, if I ride a 40-year-old scooter, I'm saving $40 every time I fill up. Or, you know, or if I stop buying stuff that I recognize, like Kellogg's and all this other crap, I'm actually voting with my dollars and sending a message and not giving money to, you know, these you know, companies that are basically, one, harming our planet. Same with Exxon. If I'm not giving them $40 and I'm only giving, it only costs me $4 to fill up my scooter. So if I'm only giving them $4 versus $40, that's a significant change, right? That is really hurting them. I'm no longer giving them $40 every time I fill up. I give them $4 when I fill up now. And I get the same gas mileage. Or when I go shopping and I practice reverse marketing, which is simply, if I recognize the brand, oh, Kellogg's, oh, don't buy that. Oh, you know, what's the name of the bananas? Whatever. I mean, we recognize brands. Coca-Cola, ooh, nasty stuff. Pepsi, yeah, stay away from it. You know, all these brands that we recognize. Why? Because we've been indoctrinated in them for so long. So in my videos, you know, people say, well, you know, your ego, whatever. I'm just sharing. I'm sharing what I'm doing in the hopes that the sheeple, the people out there, others will see, say, hey, I can share this with my community. I can share this. Here's what one permaculture guy is doing. Someone who's trying to bring about sustainable living through, you know, observation and design and making changes, you know. And if he can do it, you know, he's launched a farm with really no money. I built a greenhouse with no money. I built toilets, all this stuff. That's all part of permaculture. You know, it's all dealing with sustainable living. Yeah, my apologies for wasting your time, wasting my time, arguing over stupid semantics on what permaculture is and whether or not I'm doing it or not. Who gives a fuck? Really? Really? So let's focus on changing the world. Let's focus on making this world a better place. You know, I'm not a permaculture teacher. And maybe you see me making videos is some way teaching. You know, well, I'm just sharing. And that is the third precept, in my view, to permaculture, which is basically help the planet, help the living systems, and share. Share what you're doing. And why share is so important, let me explain that on a, you know, on basically on a, something called the law of distribution of innovation. You probably don't know this. I'm a startup guy, right? There's something very important called the law of distribution of innovation, which is a hyperbola, which basically every paradigm, here comes my wife, every paradigm that, hello.
Hello.
She's so sexy. Nothing. I didn't videotape you. I wanted to, but I didn't. She's going to the toilet. Okay, so every paradigm in permaculture right now is at the innovation stage, follows this parabola. And ultimately, what we're doing is sharing this, you know, the traction. So it's to our best interest to get permaculture, no matter what form it takes, to the early adaptive stage, which is basically up to 12.5% of the population doing it. And then the early majority, which is 33.5%, and then the late majority, which is another, or 34%. Late majority is another 34%. And then there's the laggards, which will never change. They'll always use chemicals, they'll always do this stuff, and they'll never change. Don't even worry about them. So whether you're Facebook, whether you're Wikipedia, whether you're Google, whether you're Yahoo, whether you're permaculture, whether you're climate change, whether you're the collapse of growth or the end of growth, all of these things follow the same paradigm. And all of them, to get to the early adaptive stage for the most part, not the web-based applications, but things like climate change and so on, have all taken about 40 years to get from the innovation to the early adapter. And as you know, permaculture has been really around 40 years. So anyway, so I kind of got off on a tangent. My main reason for this is to make an apology. I got to go and take care of my plants. I got to water them.